saying she was sleeping in her room when she woke up with deep scratch marks on her neck, like some kind of imprint.
Cut the motherfucking show. No. Look at this. That's a dumb motherfucking hickey. That is
How did
not
that
a
get
scratch.
there?
My nails are not even that long or sharp for me to scratch myself. I took a nap, y'all, like an hour.
But here's the thing. She lives alone. The only thing in the room with her was the Labubu doll. And honestly, most people don't even know the truth about Labubu. Turns out, the creator of Labubu supposedly based it on Pazuzu, a demonic figure from Norse mythology. Yeah, you heard that right, a demon. Now, more and more people who own Labubu dolls are reporting strange, paranormal things happening. Since buying the doll, they say they've had nightmares, unexplained scratches on their bodies, and heard weird noises at night. It's starting to get out of hand. And honestly, why would anyone want a toy like that in the first place? It's not even cute, it's creepy. The sharp teeth, the oversized eyes, it straight up looks cursed. If you happen to have one, you need to get rid of it, like immediately.
It's here! Maggie's first Pazuzu! Your father ordered this because... Why did you order this?
I thought it was pizza. Don't worry, Maggie. While Mommy and Daddy carouse downstairs, you'll be here in the dark with Pazuzu. When Pazuzu's eyes are glaring, it's time to go to bed. You'll see demon shadows fighting, but it's just inside your head. When Pazuzu's eyes are staring, the moonlight will turn red, 'cause on nightmares, until we all are dead.
Hello and welcome back to Chakras and Cusswords, you cosmic baddies. So today we are going to talk about the Labubu dolls, or Labu dolls, which are collectible, plush-like, cozy dolls. Their body looks cozy and very plush-like, but their face is vinyl and it has kind of like this creepy smile, almost like, ooh, so creepy. I will say these dolls, when I first saw them, I automatically was like, they kind of remind me of Teletubbies. A little bit of Teletubbies. And if you're a millennial or a Gen X, you know of the Teletubbies. But then I saw the mass appeal that people were really getting into about owning and collecting these dolls. Like, they just had to get their hands on these little creepy dolls. And it kind of reminded me then of the Beanie Babies. The Beanie Babies swept the nation. I don't know how old my sister was. I think she was probably, because I had to be at least like 16 or 18. And I just remember the Beanie Baby frenzy was insane. She used to have me drive to like every McDonald's to try to get freaking a certain Beanie Baby, because what happens is McDonald's would pass out these Beanie Babies in the Happy Meals, and you didn't know what Beanie Baby you were getting. So if you were like a collector, which she thought she was, I think we ended up donating all those Beanie Babies. I don't know if she still has some, but she had like tons of Beanie Babies. She even had like the Princess Diana Beanie Baby. This kid was crazy about the beanies. So she had me driving everywhere to get these damn Beanie Babies. And when I hear about people getting crazy about these Labubu dolls, I'm like, it reminds me of the Beanie Baby freaking hysteria. And these dolls, I don't really get it. And people are like wearing them on their purse, but whatever. So the Labubu dolls are these collectible dolls that were released and created in Hong Kong first, traditionally. But the artists Casting Lung released them by the brand Pop Mart and began to sell them. So they are part of Pop Mart's series that is called the Monster series, and it's a designer series. It's a designer toy series. But what's getting creepy about these dolls is people are saying that these dolls are possessed. Okay? That they are possessed and they are, I don't know, causing some kind of mass hysteria. I will say the combination of the Teletubby and the Beanie Baby hysteria just makes me think that it has some kind of alliance of where it's tapping into the energy of people feeling like they need to have them, but in actuality, we don't need to have any of this shit. But here we are talking about these Labubu dolls. So they were created in 2015, okay? And they are inspired by Nordic folklore and mythology. The Pop Mart collaboration didn't hit until 2019, but at which point the Labubus basically soared in popularity once they were introduced by Pop Mart. And they are featuring these almost like troll-like behavior type dolls. Like I said, they're kind of creepy, right? So they have these big pointy ears, big eyes, and mischievous teeth. And they have this very weird grin. And it is believed that they have, let me see exactly. It is believed that they have a devilish smile of 9 teeth. Ooh, what a badass number. We all know what 9 breaks down to, and that's 666. This story is just getting creepier and creepier. And they have a soft, round type of body. And a round body, to me, always resembles the area of the belly of the beast, if you know what I mean. So what is making people want these creepy little dolls? So they're being sold as blind box collectible items. Anytime you have a blind box collectible items, it gets the dopamine running, right? It's kind of like gambling. You don't really know what you're going to get. And each box contains a random variant of themed series for these dolls. And then sometimes they have a rare and secret doll in these boxes. They are small. Most of these dolls are very small, and they're like vinyl figurines, and they're anywhere from 12 to 30 inches. Okay. And then they even have some bigger ones, which are quote unquote life size of what these little trolley, furry, evil Teletubbies would look like if they were actually alive. And that's standing at 4 foot tall. Ooh, yucky. There is definitely some energy about these dolls when we look at the names of the dolls and the names of the series. So the popular series include Exciting Macaroon, Fall in the Wild, Have a Seat, and Big Into Energy. Plus, they've also had collaborations with Coca-Cola, One Piece, and other special editions. So I will say the Big Into Energy was the one that really stood out to me on names. Now, anytime you're talking about energy, we have to remember that energy is life, right? We all move with energy. Energy brings life. Do I think energy or spirit form or entity form can be created by basically just existing and then taking a capsule? Yes, I do. And if this wasn't something that would happen, then how do you explain Annabelle, one of the most creepiest dolls ever? And we talked about Annabelle in one of the astrology dates of how Annabelle was this doll that supposedly came from a nurse that was given to her. The doll was given to her as a gift, and then when she took the doll in, she noticed that this doll began to do some weird things. Like, it was always moving around. It was in one location and then a different location. And she ended up calling a priest to have an exorcism of that doll. And that doll actually was seen as possessed by some paranormal experts. And if you want to listen to that Astrology Date podcast, it's on the YouTube channel. I think it was for the month of May or the month of June, and we were doing a reflection of May is when we talked about the Annabelle doll. But I do believe that energy can shift into capsules. These capsules could be human. These capsules could be doll-like figurines. These capsules could be just about anything, crystals, and so on. So one of the reasons why I think people are so drawn to these dolls is because they are ugly. Ugly, ugly, ugly. They're so ugly, they're cute, is what people say. But we have to remember something, is when something comes to us in a form of the introduction of what it really is ugly, but cute, it makes you wonder, is this doll really just ugly? And we're overlooking the ugly and trying to make it cute. It definitely has this quirky and mischievous charm behind it, which is creating this mass appeal. And then that dopamine release of the blind box thrill. Now we have to remember that collectors love to chase. They love to chase secrets, they try to duplicate. It's almost like a fixation of creating something and receiving the end product. But what finally happens when you have all of these dolls? Does something creepy appear? Well, some people are saying the more dolls you have, the more paranormal activity that will start to unravel quite by you. There's even celebrities who have been pushing these dolls. Now, I am going to say there's something about celebrities pushing products that just give me the ick. And I'm going to tell you guys that I doubt any of these celebrities actually went out into a frenzy trying to purchase these dolls. They were probably given these dolls, and then for whatever reason, the celebrity liked it or decided, yeah, they are cute, so I'm going to continue to rock it. But the celebrities who've really created some social media buzz around these Labubu dolls were Blackpink's Lisa, which is, I believe, a K-pop band, Rihanna, Dua Lipa, and also Lizzo were all spotted loving these dolls. Now we have to remember that they are seen as a global designer toy trend. While they are favored with teens, and teenagers, even adults are taking curiosity to them. So it could be for the area of nostalgia, the area of like feeling artsy fartsy, or just having something that is seen as being wanted. So typically in retail price and in the US market, these dolls can cost anywhere from $20 to $40 depending on the size and the rarity. If it is a very exclusive or limited edition doll, of course its resale is going to be much more. However, the resale has literally skyrocketed, making these life-size mint editions selling for anywhere to $170K and also to millions. Okay, like I'm not paying millions for a doll. That's crazy. And there's a lot of speculation that led to the hype that these dolls would be worth something later. Kind of like the Beanie Babies. I remember everybody was like, these Beanie Babies are going to be worth a lot of fucking money. Are they? Were they? I don't know about that. Because I'm going to tell you something. My sis didn't become rich collecting all them Beanie Babies. Homegirl still had to get a job. But this is the way that society plays us to basically control us in corporate greed and allowing us to feel like we need all these damn useless possessions. And we get so stupid about it that we end up spending money on stuff we later end up donating. And could these dolls be a little bit creepy and demonic? Sure. But the energy that we're using to spend on shit that we don't need is really the ultimate crime. So let's talk about some of the controversies. So some of the controversies are related around spiritual conspiracies, especially around TikTok, claiming that these elf-like dolls could be possessed. And a lot of people talk about how they are resembling the Pazuzu comparison, which is a little demonic creature. And the buying frenzy is basically making it where people still want these dolls, even if they think they might be possessed. I feel like some people are buying these dolls just to see if they are possessed. So let's get into some of the Nordic or Norse folklore and mythology, which is very rich in ancient beliefs that originate pre-Christian, pre-Christian, and this is seen as in the area of the Scandinavian world. So primarily in Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and Iceland. So Nordic mythology isn't one of the mythologies that I concentrate on. I'm not very well knowledgeable in it. So it is one of the mythologies that I kind of sway away from. It consists of myths and legends and deities and creatures, and also it has energies of the cosmos, passed down through the energy of old Viking traditions and old Viking storytelling, which was later preserved in texts like the Poetic Edda and Persu Edda. Here's kind of some of the introduction of the key Nordic mythology is that there are gods and goddesses. Odin, the Allfather, god of wisdom, war, and death, gave an eye for knowledge. Thor, the god of thunder, strength, and protection, and was seen as a powerful being. Loki, the trickster, the god that was also a trickster god, part giant, and was also known for being mischievous and had shape-shifting properties. Freyja, the goddess of love and fertility and battle, that would ride chariots that were pulled by cats. Frigg, the Odin's wife, goddess of marriage, motherhood, and prophecy. Freyr, the god of fertility, prosperity, and fair weather. So it is believed that there are 9 realms in Nordic cosmology, or I guess kind of like astrology, but it's known as cosmology, where together it's a Yggdrasil, a giant ash tree that connects 9 worlds. So Asgard, the realm of the Asur gods like Odin and Thor, reside there. Vanaheim, the home of the Vanir gods like Frey and Freyja. I'm probably destroying these names. I apologize. Midgard, earth realm for humans. So the humans live on Midgard. Jotunheim, the land of the giants like Jotunor, often the enemies of the gods. Alheim, the realm of light and the energy of elves, okay? And then also Savathim, or Nidavellir, the land of dwarfs. And the Nephilim, the coldest world, or world of cold ice and mist. And then also Mesupilm, the realm of fire and the home of the fire giants. Heltham, the underworld ruled by the hell and the daughter of the Loki. So in Greek mythology, they believe in giants, elements of chaos. They believe in areas of Viking zombies. They also have stories that resemble warrior maidens known as the Valkyries, the elves, and the dwarves, which are godlike ethereal creatures. And then also the Venefir, which is a monstrous wolf, which is the son of the Loki. So they have a lot of areas of mythology, deities, demons, and even creatures such as elves and trolls and dwarfs and almost like master tricksters. So with this mythology, we see that the Labubu doll appears to be directly inspired more by the energy of the troll, the trickster spirit, and also the house goblin, known as the elf in Scandinavian folklore. But with modern day, this little doll is seen as being ugly and cute, where it makes you wonder what energy of the trickster spirit has this doll incorporated. Also, there is the energy of myths and traits that come with trolls. So trolls were often seen as wild forest dwelling beings that were ugly and mischievous and sometimes childlike. So I'm not surprised that they are selling these dolls to children or young adults. Also, the Labubu connection is the wild hair, the big ears, and the slightly creepy smile. That child-sized proportions are very troll-like. Also, it is believed to be hiding in the energy of the doll, of that actual creature, coming out and creating some type of mischievous energy. Also, with other myths that have a connection to the Labubu doll is tiny humanoid beings, which could be seen as house spirits that live in folklore tradition. These are often seen as like elves or some type of being that has pointed ears and a mischievous personality, which is really what this doll resembles. So I would say that this doll does have a energy that could feel a little bit possessed, even though I don't plan on taking this doll to find out. But they are even linking this doll to demons like Pazuzu, who is a Mesopotamian myth and was also seen in The Exorcist. So it's very interesting that this doll is being linked to so many things. I definitely think that the doll does have some energy tied into it. Anytime something is inspired by something a little bit mischievous or even devilish like, you're going to see that area of mischief kind of resemble in stories and also in areas of where the doll is residing. So in Casting Lung's words, he said, the Labubu is a curious little monster who's both innocent and mischievous. He likes to play tricks, but never means harm. He comes from the woods and loves making friends. This definitely fits the Scandinavian and Nordic traditions of forest spirits. We see how this baby troll of the woodlands and goblins have kind of nestled quite nicely in modern day society. So technically, I do think that this is a reinterpretation of the Nordic forest troll, more instead of the actual demonic spirit that everybody is worried about. But just like a troll and mischievous goblin, we can definitely see where duality will play in. The energy of light, darkness, cuteness, creepiness, playful, trickster has really kind of taken its play right into here and now. And what's also interesting is that a lot of people were talking about this doll had some direct ties to a Simpsons, the Simpsons show where Marge Simpson gets this creepy doll that Homer Simpson ordered by accident, and they said that it resembles this new Labubu doll. Very, very interesting. So another person who started this whole warning about these dolls was a Christian exorcist. Carlos Martin appeared on a November podcast, cautioned against the Labubu dolls, saying if they were a foundation, that they were the foundation of demons and Christians shouldn't own them. He claimed they might be celebrated as even demons. And of course, the clip went viral. Anytime you start talking about demons, everybody's getting in a tail frenzy. So another group of people who talked about this doll being possessed was back in May of 2025. The influencer Talia Official posted on her TikTok that she suspected that there was connections between the Nordic folklore, the pagan demons, and it had the doll bringing in these spirits into her home. And this video made quite the view count go up. There was also talks of a girl who said that she woke up and nobody was in the room with her, but she had scratches on her neck and she thinks it was the doll. So, I don't know. But people definitely feel connected in owning something that could be seen as mischievous. And that's another thing that people love to do, is to dip and dive into the mischievous world of paranormal activity. And I definitely think if you feel that buying a Labubu doll is right for you, go ahead and buy it. There's zero credible evidence that there's any supernatural properties. Just please leave me a comment and let me know. Did your Labubu doll start to torment you at night while you were sleeping? Or was this all fantasy? Everybody have an amazing day. Please like, comment, and share this podcast with one of your creepy Labubu collectors. Bye.